accepted at that time, and the church were one and the same thing. But I think we all know, especially if we've read our Gospels, that Jesus was not really all that much a part of his culture. He was really sort of a counter-culture character, wasn't he? Everyone else was talking about prestige and greed, and some people are more important than others. Jesus said, welcome, all of you. Anyone who wants to hear the good news, come to my table. Let's talk. We'll have some wine, we'll break bread together, and I want to share something very special with you. Unfortunately, when religion becomes institutionalized, it's all about power, and especially the people at the top. They want to be in control. So we'll tell the people that this is what Jesus was about, this is what he said, this is what he did, and let's be respectable. And I'm so glad today to see you in all different types of dress. Some of you are dressed up. That's good. We're not one of these churches where we say, well, who do you think you are, all dressed up there in stockings and heels and dress, or the guy's wearing a tie. Oh, bad, bad, bad. We want to be down there on the earth with Jesus. Or the other extreme, where if you come to church in some blue jeans and everybody else is all put together in their attire, that they kind of look at you. Don't you have any respect for Jesus that you come dressed to church like that? No, Jesus wanted you to come as you are, who you are, where you are, and just accepted everyone. That early church was one of sharing and caring. It really was. And people, when they joined the community, knew that that was expected of them. Whatever they had, they were to share it with everyone else. Now, if we all did that, or we had the ability to do it, we wouldn't have any poverty, would we? We know from people that study cultural geography that there is not a shortage of food in the world. It's really a distribution problem. And Jesus kind of led the way to come to people's homes and have them share their food with everyone. And no one went away hungry. But there's other kinds of sharing. It's just not about money. It's about time. It's about energy. It's about who you are. I was recently reading a story in Guidepost about a little girl who had fallen off of her bicycle and she broke her leg. And it didn't heal. And so they had to go in and do surgery and kind of put it together. And it still didn't heal. So then they had to go back again and try to put the bone together. This, when the story took place, this was the third time she had gone back to have her leg put in place. Hopefully it would finally heal. And you can imagine how distraught her mother was, not knowing what to do, and feeling so alone and helpless, and what can I do for my daughter? And the daughter was just about ready to go into surgery when a chaplain, a young volunteer chaplain, came in and had a goodie bag. And it had crayons and coloring books and stickers and all kinds of neat stuff. And a big star that she could wear. And she was so full of joy that someone would do this nice thing for her. And that's what volunteering is really all about, isn't it? It's helping other people. I think in this world, unless you have tons of money, like Warren Buffett, or some of the other very wealthy people, you cannot write out a check for $1 billion. Does anybody here have that kind of money in their check? I don't think so. So what do you do if you don't have $1 billion in your checking account? You volunteer. What were you going to do?
Get a loan.
Get a loan. That's a big loan. Do you know anyone who would loan you $1 billion? I don't know anybody would loan me $1 billion.
Sorry.
Yeah. So what you do is, if you don't have tons of money and you can't write out the big check, and we are not running a commune here in this church. Sometimes it seems like that, doesn't it? Especially afterwards, we're all eating together. I don't think anyone leaves this church on a Sunday morning hungry. Is there anybody that goes home hungry? No. Especially today. Oh, nobody's going home hungry today. Oh, do we have food? And so, Julio, you need to have a birthday every Sunday. You know that, don't you? The thing is, what we do today is we volunteer. And there's so many organizations and people out there that could really use our help. I really appreciate you donating cans of food and staple items to the Foothill Unity Center. I go down there usually about twice a month, and I bring you all your wonderful things and take it down there, and you really make a difference in other people's lives. And even if you don't have that much food yourself, usually there's a can of something that you don't really eat that much yourself. But fortunately, we all don't have the same taste, do we? Our taste buds are different. So just because you don't like a can of string beans doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't. They might like it very much, and they can make it into all sorts of things. We can also, in our church, volunteer. You think that yard got that way by itself?
No.
You think all those plants got instantly watered and manicured, and weeds just kind of flipped out of the ground and ended up in the big containers? No, it's because of people volunteering. And all the different gatherings that we have here, and people are bringing food, and they're bringing other things. We have our yard sales, and people are bringing things that will help to generate money for our church. It's because of your efforts. So, we do not live in an Israeli kibbutz. Anybody familiar with them? Heard of a kibbutz? It's kind of like a large farm where people all live together. They share in the work. They produce vegetables and fruit and things like that. They sell it in the markets, and then whatever profits they make, then is shared by everybody in the kibbutz. It's like a communal farm. We don't have that here, do we? At least not in Arcadia. But in a way, we are living in a communal kind of society. We care about each other, right?
Yes.
Know anybody who's not feeling too great?
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of people not feeling too great. What do?
Pray for them.
Pray for them and pick up the phone. Pray with them on the phone. Let them know you care.
That's what television does sometimes. They pray with me.
Yes, you do. And it really works.
That works.
It really
Guaranteed.
works. So, it's too bad that the 4th chapter of Acts has been kept very secret from a lot of folks up until more recent years. We have now what is called the Revised Standard. It's called the Revised Lectionary. And they put in a lot of the stories and the books that the folks back in the 50s didn't want you to read. It's assuming you were alive in the 50s. But, anything that was controversial, not the way we do things, was kept from you. And unless you read the Bible cover to cover, you wouldn't even know about it. But fortunately, we do have the Revised Common Lectionary. And we can read stories like we had today in Acts 4 and learn that this is the kind of life that the early followers of Jesus in Jerusalem lived, so that we can follow their example, but in our own way today that works for us. And if you want to have true wealth, feel blessed, know that you are part of God's realm.
Amen.
Let's share, let's care, and in the end, we'll all feel very, very blessed.
Amen.
Everybody all raring to go in?